Justin Carabello, and I am the owner of Carabello Coffee Company, located in Newport, Kentucky. The whole focal point of this business has always been about connecting people together, whether that's here locally in Newport, Cincinnati, whether that's internationally with producers in other countries and our customer base. Like, we want coffee to be a point of connection for people. You can't script out exactly who's going to be a part of it and who's going to attach themselves to it, or who it's going to resonate with. You can think that you know, but you don't really know until you start down the path. And then so for us, as we look back over the last 10 years, what I see is relationships now with people that have become very meaningful, very central to what we're doing. We now have kind of amassed this community of people that have gathered around this idea of coffee and compassion in tandem. This idea of, like, can we do really great coffee well and do it in a way that then benefits and blesses other people. People's hearts get touched. People feel connected in a meaningful way, and the outgrowth of that is people's lives are enriched. People get helped who maybe wouldn't have gotten helped in the same way. People get an opportunity to bless others. For example, we have a whole brick wall full of little notes stuck in the wall, that people have written encouraging messages to each other, or just to whoever finds it. Well, that started because one random person one time, I don't even know who, wrote a note, an encouraging note, as they processed the death of their father, and shared some of the things that their father had said while he was dying, in regards to dying with cancer. A couple days later, a lady comes in with her 2 daughters, sits in this corner table, sees this note on the wall, pulls the note out, starts reading it, immediately begins to sob. They were there remembering the 1-year anniversary of her husband, their father, passing away due to cancer. And so what did they do after after the tears, after the sharing stories about Dad? They wrote a note. They wrote their own encouraging note and put it in the wall. And that started like this snowball chain reaction, domino effect, whatever you want to call it. Now we've got like 100 or more encouraging notes stuck in the wall. We had nothing to do with that. But to me, that's one of those special things that comes out of this idea of you're connecting people, you're rallying around something that's bigger than you. It becomes a community, and then things like that start happening. As my wife and I and our team kind of processed the fact that we were, coming up on celebrating 10 years of being in business, we really started thinking about, okay, what can we do to celebrate? We felt like, in general, we like to create reasons to get people together, celebrate things. I think that's just part of who we are. And so we wanted to create an event that we could really that would mark this milestone, kind of commemorate, hey, we've made it 10 years doing this. When we were thinking about, who should we partner with, as we were planning this 10-year gala, just made sense for us. It needs to be the Mercy Kids. We really believe in them, and we said, let's use this opportunity to kind of gather our people around helping someone else, because we felt like what better way to celebrate 10 years than to do it in a way that kind of expresses this whole idea of coffee and compassion in tandem.
In developing countries, people experiencing a disability usually live in isolation. They face loneliness. They suffer and endure judgment. They often receive a sentence to spend a lifetime alone. Many, many times I've traveled down a little dirt road and climbed up an anti-erosion rocky wall to find a little cinder block house. And in that cinder block house, there might be a child, all contorted and contracted from an undiagnosed disability. The mom has no clue about her child's diagnosis. She has no clue that her child doesn't need to live in this contracted state.
It was really deeply moving for us to see the condition of these kids, the reality that, hey, like, without a social safety net, there are literally families taking their children to the dump and leaving them there as a way of not being able to maybe care for them, or obviously really, really sad scenarios or situations like that. You know, here in the States, there would be a lot more services available to them. Occupational therapy, speech therapy, you know, different surgical procedures or things that families might be able to, you know, have access to for their children, to help them overcome some of these things. It would be a 4-hour drive for the next place that those families could get help for their kids is literally 4 hours away. And these are families that they don't have a car. You know, they would have to be taking like the chicken bus or like have somebody drive them. You know, it would be an entire day or more, like getting the help, you know, coming back, and just the reality of like, you're not gonna do that every week, you know. So seeing like, this is significant, this is really important to these families. Seeing these moms who don't have people to talk to about their kids because maybe they feel ostracized or have been ostracized because of this, and well, just a lot of social dynamics where these moms were just really needy for support, people to just listen, people to like show them they care.
Thank you for choosing us. Thank you for choosing to spend your money and your time in this way and to leverage your love of coffee as a way to helping kiddos like what we're doing with the Mercy Kids. We raised $12,000 tonight, you guys.
Our goal was 10,000, we exceeded that. But then since then, we've had more money come in and be given to now we're up to almost $15,000 has been raised. Did I ever think that we would be here from when we started? I mean, it's sort of like a yes and no. Yes, in the sense that I have always been someone who just can kind of, I can see a bigger vision and I like to shoot for the moon. I mean, I just like, hey, let's go for it. Let's do it. You know, let's create this coffee company that, you know, is doing this very, like, to me, macro thing. Like, let's leverage people's love of coffee over here in this country to help people over here in a completely different country who they've never met. And we'll do it all through, like, serving people great coffee and telling the story and making this connection. I did not imagine, I could not have ever imagined what it would actually, like, what I live in now. Like, I never dreamt a dream like this. Like, especially from the standpoint of the people. Like, you know, I could never have predicted that people would feel so deeply identified with my staff the way they do, with this space the way they do, with our product the way they do. Like, to have people who have chosen for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, some from the very beginning, to drink our coffee as their coffee. And this is like, I drink Carabello coffee, like I go to Carabello, like this is my coffee, this is my shop. Like, I would have never predicted that.